Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Lectures of Nahdlatul Ulama University of Surabaya and the dear of the judges. I'm Nabila Putri Ahmadani standing here as the opening government with my partner Amar Ma'ruf as the closing government. So without further ado, under the motion of this House will give the authority to local government to allow face-to-face learning during the pandemic. Let me give the arguments. The pandemic has changed various aspects of human life today, especially in our education system, which is temporarily eliminating face-to-face learning. This requires all elements of education to adapt with the development of information technology, especially the internet. It opens opportunities for the development of better information services in educational institutions. Well, the propaganda of the online learning system might has won our mind, but the reality says the opposite. We have been feeling the dilapidation of this online learning system. Let me break down how big the obstacles and the negative impacts we are facing right now. First, let's look at the teacher side. Teachers have difficulty on managing online learning. They tend to focus on completing the curriculum, and then the reduction of learning duration makes teachers are impossible on completing their teaching duty burden. Last but not least, teachers have difficulty on communicating with parents as the students' learning partner at home. And then the second, from parent side, we know that not all of parents are able to accompany their children for studying at home since they have to work outside. And then many parents are unable to figure out nowadays lesson and motivate their children for online learning. Last but not least, let's look at the student side. Many students begin to lose their motivation as the learning atmosphere is so under their expectation that triggers the uplifted boredom and stress. It's caused by the sustainable isolation plus their complicated and abundant assignment. Around 79.9% students complain about the lack of interaction with their teacher in online learning. This data is supported by the Commissioner for the Indonesian Child Protection Commission, Retno Listiarti. And overall, what students always complain is not only about the problem of internet networks, where several districts cannot be reached well. And we have to underline that the distribution of internet quota subsidies is not evenly well distributed. The online learning implemented nowadays potentially brings out prolonged negative impacts, and we got three main problems. The first one is the threat of dropping out of school, since many children are forced to work for helping their families finance during the pandemic crisis. And then Indonesian students will face a learning loss, or let's say it's an academic achievement degradation, either in soft skill or hard skill. And then the violence against children and internal risks are increasing, such as early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and exploitation. Therefore, the face-to-face learning should be carried out for all levels in the green and yellow zones, only with the approval of local government and parents based on the zonation system arranged by the COVID-19 Response Acceleration Task Force, where we have 43% students in those zones, while in the red zone we still have 57% students. So if it's possible to do, the learning system in the red zone should be carried out by blended learning with super strict health protocol. The next step is giving a massive vaccination for all the teachers, staff, and students as the indispensable step to ensure the immunity is able to deal with the COVID-19. And of course, there will be new rules for the class condition and learning schedule. Canteen and extracurricular will be closed, and all the elements of the school have to do the compulsory behaviors based on the health protocol. Each school will provide an adequate sanitation and hygiene facility. Thank you.
The face-to-face learning which will be implemented of course prioritizes several aspects. The first is the health and safety of students, educators, education personnel, families and communities is the main priority in determining learning policies. The second is psychosocial of students are also considered in the educational service complaints during the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, from what we have explained, we'll make an innovation based on advanced technology. That is online attendance list, where the data is directly list in the Ministry of Education and Culture's data. How does it work? Indonesia student data, of course, list on the computer that is under control by Ministry of Education. And now we will open face-to-face learning with the provisions of the health protocol. Therefore, we will give each student a barcode which will be scanned when a student comes to the school, and the attendance data can be controlled by the government to ensure the school only accommodates 50% the capacity of students. And by using this technology, we can also close the loopholes of fraud from irresponsible parties, and we can be more efficient in terms of time and accuracy. And also, by using this technology, we can be more transparent in assessing data in order to maximize our effort to resolve this pandemic, with the hope that it will pass as soon as possible for our goodness. The COVID-19 pandemic is a nightmare for all of us. Does not just affect our education, but also our economic too. And a lot of people fall into the poverty, and the number of criminality, poverty, unemployment increase because of this pandemic. The conclusion from what we have explained, from prioritizing green zones, red zones, and health protocol with support by advanced technology, all of that will not work, and it will be useless if we do not start from ourselves. We have to be more disciplined if we want to solve this pandemic as soon as possible. That's all from us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.